Kyle, first Monday of the meetings. What was your feelings about the discussion?
I thought it was productive. I think everyone's interests are essentially that they want to continue to build on what's been a great season in the NHL, and it's a group that wants to always be continuing to try to make the game better. For me, as my first time at this particular meeting, it's always great, especially when you get into the breakout groups, to see the way that a lot of the veteran guys and the people who've been in the game for a long time operate, and so it's a great experience for me personally. Very fortunate, and it's been interesting. I mean, I think it's been a great season in the NHL so far. The races have been great. You've seen a lot of teams coming back from being out of it that's built a lot of momentum in different fan bases and in the game. And so I think everyone wants to just continue to build on that and improve the game wherever we can.
You're one of the younger managers in the league, and it was interesting you said, kind of sizing guys up. Is it still a game of trying to size people up? Because you really do have to know who you're dealing with.
I think so. I think it's always good to know who you're dealing with. I think now, and having gone through essentially a full cycle, coming in before the draft and now going through training camp and almost a full season, but particularly through the trade deadline, you get a sense in the way that different people operate, and you build a different rapport with different managers in the league, and I think that's always important when you're trying to do transactions. But in the group, it's all largely people who've been in the game for far longer than I have, that have great experience. It's great for me to be able to learn from, and I'm very fortunate to do so. So it's just sitting in there and trying to be a sponge as much as possible and learn as much as I can.
All right, the trade deadline kind of came and went. You guys made a big play to get Jake Muzzin a little bit earlier, before the actual deadline. Were there a couple of things that, maybe bigger things, that you were maybe looking to do that just didn't come to fruition for you?
I think we're at that stage in our evolution now, EJ, where we're always looking to make our team better, and so we tried to explore everything as much as we could. Was really happy that we made the Muzzin deal when we did. Let Jake kind of get acclimatized, and like every player of that nature that seems to get traded, the adrenaline at the beginning propels them to make a strong impact, and they start to settle in, and there's, you ride the wave a little bit, and then now he's sort of got back to his game, which has been a real positive for us. But having that extra month of runway, I think, will certainly help Jake as we go through the final month and a half of the season, and we're happy that we made that deal then. In regards to everything else, we were happy to add Nick Patan, but in terms of larger scale stuff that would have, I think, brought a little bit more attention, our major goal was to continue to improve our team. So we explored everything. We just didn't find anything that was the proper fit for us at the deadline, and we were constrained a little bit by the salary cap and by some of the commitments we're going to have next season. So Jake was our move, and going back to the summer with John. So we were happy to add them, and then Nick Patan has made a strong impression early on. So we'll hope he can just continue to develop, and we'll get him rolling.
All right, we've got about 4 or 5 weeks left of the season here. You're in a tough division. I mean, you got Tampa that's going crazy this year. You got the Boston Bruins are playing well. You guys obviously have a terrific team. You're dealing with a couple of injuries right now. Where do you think you are right now as a team, and what do you think you need to do over the next several weeks in getting ready for the postseason?
It's so interesting, right? Because if you wake up, we're fourth in the NHL, or the fourth or fifth in the NHL in total points. But we start the playoffs tomorrow. We'd be on the road in Boston, and I think that though some people might not like that, I think for us in our group, as a young group that's trying to mature, it just keeps the pressure on our players all throughout the rest of the season. So I think that being in our division, though it's very competitive and very difficult, and the road ahead to get through is daunting, I think that for our young players and their maturity, being in a division with two teams of that nature who've been so competitive and so good for so long, plus you have Montreal's coming up, and Buffalo right behind them, and I think that's only going to be a positive for our guys. I think it teaches them focus, maturity, and really the ability to maintain their concentration throughout the full season, which will be a benefit to us in the playoffs.
All right, Kyle, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck.
For sure. Thank you.